You're going to listen to the story titled My First Day. It's a fictional story. It talks about cooperating with others to get a job done. I don't want to complain too much, so let me just say this. My first day at camp was confusing. I arrived a little late, so I missed some of the instructions. My group was sitting at a picnic table making animal masks. I sat next to Ken, who was a new kid too. "That's our counselor, Ziggy," Ken said, pointing to an older boy at the other end of the table. "Ziggy told us we're putting on an animal play this afternoon. He said practicing would help us get to know each other and learn to work together. All the parents are coming, I guess." There was one mask left in the middle of the table. It was an owl mask, and I assumed it was mine. "Everyone choose a mask," Ken explained. "The counselors made them. I'm the mouse because I'm the smallest kid. We left the owl mask for you." "Owls are boring," I said. "I think I'd rather be a lion or a tiger, but I guess I have no choice." "Am I allowed to trade masks with someone?" I asked Ziggy. "Sure," he said, "if you can find anyone who wants to trade." But no one wanted to be an owl, so I was going to be an owl, and that was that. It was fun to decorate the owl mask, though. I used yellow and black beads for the eyes, black beads for the beak, and some black and brown feathers. We all finished just in time for lunch. Everyone seemed to have their lunch bags with them, but mine was somewhere in my backpack. I asked Ken if he'd save me a seat next to him, and then I went to look for it. By the time I found my lunch bag, I was late again, and there were no seats next to Ken or anyone else. I thought about asking the kid next to Ken to scrunch over, but then I decided he might not like that. So I just stood there fidgeting until Ken noticed me and stood up. "Let's eat our lunch under that tree." After lunch, it was time to rehearse the play. Ziggy had written the play. It was about a little lost mouse played by Ken, who was trying to make his way home. Ken was lucky. He got to hide from the big animals and scurry and zip and race around and sniff around. I had the worst part. All I was supposed to do was hoot once in a while. "There's plenty of room to improvise," Ziggy said. I didn't know what improvise meant. Did Ziggy mean there was plenty of room to race and roll and jump over bushes? "Improvise means to add things of your own," Ziggy explained. "Leap up if you want to, stamp angrily, shiver like you're afraid, but stay in character. If you're the lion, roar. Don't bellow like a bull or grunt like a wild pig. If you're the mouse, squeak. Don't trumpet like an elephant or laugh like a hyena. And please don't change the ending." The audience wants the mouse to make it home without being caught. At 4 o'clock, the audience arrived to see the play. My mother and sister were in the front row. Ken the Mouse went on stage first and started searching for a path that would take him home. I came on next and stood behind a tree branch so it would look like I was sitting in the tree. I pretended to be sleeping because owls are nocturnal, so they sleep all day. Then all the other animals came on stage. They were improvising, but they weren't doing what I was doing. I was going to be the best improviser of all. When the lion tiptoed close to Ken, I hooted one long, loud warning hoot. The little mouse mask looked up at me and escaped. When the tiger prepared to spring at Ken, I hooted 2 short warnings, and the little mouse scurried out of the way. When the rhino was about to butt him, I gave 3 hoot, hoot, hoots, and Ken hurried down a different path. Everyone clapped when the little mouse finally made it home safely, and when we bowed, the whole audience stood up and cheered loudly. "Thanks for improvising," Ziggy said when the play was over. "You all made your characters so much better. Now that we're a team, we'll have to do another play." It felt good to be part of a team. As I said, my first day of camp was confusing, but it sure turned out to be a good one.